Yo, what's good? It's your boy B-Dell. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button. But today I'm going to give a definitive logical assertion on the psychological science of MK Ultra, which is synonymous to sound wave frequencies that compromise your neurological chemistry through the television networking system and media that propagates rap music, which creates behavioral modification, which is connected to the new gun laws, because the gun laws is a precursor to a purge by transmuting people into Manchurian candidates to keep them acclimated into the criminal elements of society that's engineered by mind manipulation. Because he who controls our perception, images, and frequency control the minds of the people. Because when you break down the etymological roots of the word government, it means to control the mental, control your mentality. Because they know that God is the highest extension of the mind, which uses the elements of matter to express itself, right? So with all that shit being said, we finna shut down this whole paradigm, because I'm going to show you the reality of a totalitarian Luciferian government works in synergy with the CIA and the rap industry, which is also connected to the conglomerate corporations on Wall Street through the Telecommunications Act that Bill Clinton signed in 1996, right? So let me get my screen share going. So when you're talking about mind control, right? So when you look up the FBI director, J. Edgar Hoover, he said verbatim that he doesn't want the rise of a black messiah because he has the ability to electrify the masses. Now, why did he say electrify? Why did he use that word particularly? Because the neurological interface of the brain is what basically processes information electrically, right? So in order to infiltrate the minds of people and to basically galvanize their thoughts, you have to put them in a state of mind control. So now when you look at this guy right here, who was a neuroscientist for the CIA and the FBI, his name is Jose Delgado. He is a scientist, and he basically created a STEMO receiver, which is a intercommunication center that basically subjugates the mind and the frequency of it by taking over the motor cortex gland of the brain to where it puts you in a state of zombification. And you wonder why you got these young niggas out here on demon time. That's because their neurological chemistry has been facilitated to an algorithm system that basically that puts them in a state of psychosis due to a brain chip. Now, mind control is not just predicated upon brain chips. Everything is also galvanized through the electromagnetic waves that's permeating the three-dimensional world. So I'm going to show you a clip here of Jose Delgado. He basically created this brain chip, and it contains it's operated through electromagnetic brain waves, right? So let me get this clip going here. Let me see.
Electronic mind control research is not new. A scientific milestone in this area came in the 1960s when Dr. Jose Delgado demonstrated remote control over a charging bull. By connecting a radio antenna to electrodes inserted into the bull's brain, Delgado proved that the animal's aggressive impulses could be thwarted by electronically manipulating the bull's muscle reflexes.
See, what you got to understand is that the electronics, the nanotechnology inside the brain is called electrodes, and it basically takes over the hippocampus layer of the brain and the third and fourth ventricle. So this puts you in a state of being in a state of zombification, to where a demon can infiltrate your anatomy. Because demons, when you understand the magnitude of demonology, demons travel through technology, right? Because technology in itself was brought to this three-dimensional world through the great aliens and the draconian reptilians, because they work in synergy. Because the draconian laws is what basically galvanizes the three-dimensional world and puts the body in retrograde by bounding you to this planet through the encryption of nanotechnology that's inside the Food and Drug Administration and these medicines and these foods that we eat every day, because they contain metals. And these metals is what basically germinates our bodies to the point where we are basically controlled through, electromagnetic grid through frequency waves in the atmosphere, right? So I'm gonna keep going with the video.
We could modify the inside. Could we give messages to the inside? But the beauty is that now we are not using electrodes.
In recent years, Delgado has shown that the behavior of monkeys can be altered using low-power pulsating magnetic fields. But in these experiments, there were no antenna implants.
Any function in the brain, emotions, intellect, personality, well, could be perhaps modified by this non-invasive technology.
Delgado's research has so far been limited to animals. But in the Soviet Union, a radio frequency, or RF device, has been used for over 30 years to manipulate the moods of mental patients.
You see what I'm saying? So that basically shows you that these frequency waves in the atmosphere create behavior modification. So like I said, that works in synergy with the CIA and also everything that's going on with these new gun laws. So in order to create this chaos and confusion on the planet, they give you the illusion of free will. They'll let you go ahead and, you know, have the constitutional right to carry a gun without a permit, because the frequency that's going to be manipulated through the rap industry, these music lyrics that's going to be coming out, is basically going to create some type of spiritual and mental subjugation. So you're looking at neurological warfare and spiritual warfare. So it's going to galvanize your thinking process to where it's going to acclimate you to their system, to where you carry out an agenda by destroying yourself through their system, right? So like I said, everything is frequency, everything is vibration on this planet. And the frequency that's basically being propagated through the music industry is the music is being played at 440 megahertz frequency, right? So one thing you got to understand is that the body is made up of 70 to 75% water. So meaning that water is a spirit molecule. It's a liquid gas, because gas comes from the word ghost, and which also is connected to the cuneiform language, which means ghost. So meaning that if the water in your body is distorted by the 440 megahertz frequency, this makes you an open vessel for demonic possession, meaning that you won't be driving your vehicle. You will be in a state of psychosis because your body has been infiltrated with negative frequencies to where it lowers your vibrations to where a demon can basically take over your biological vessel, right? So I'm going to show you a clip. Well, actually, I'm going to show you this picture here. So this shows you 432 megahertz frequency, right? And that's 440 megahertz frequency. So this is the body basically being manipulated in your water due to the negative frequency. So one thing you got to understand is that, you know, music is a universal language. It connects you to the divine source, to the divine energy of the planet. It connects you to the Schumann resonance and the electromagnetic grid on the planet, right? Because like I said, water is a spirit molecule. And 440 megahertz frequency is what basically breaks your spirit. And once, like I said, once your spirit is broken, this is where demons can infiltrate your anatomy, to where it can take over your vessel. Like I said, this is why the vast majority of people are on demon time out here. You got these young niggas going crazy. You got these women out here, they not in their right state of mind, which coincides with neurocardiology. Because if you're not in your right state of mind, you're not in alignment with your heart chakra, right? Because 432 megahertz frequency is basically activates the heart chakra. You see what I'm saying? So like I said, you got brain tissue inside the heart, which coincides with neurocardiology. So like I said, if you're not in your right state of mind, you're not in alignment with your heart. Your heart's not in the right place. So when you understand the magnitude of the 42 scales of Mayat, right? When you understand the magnitude of the scales of Mayat, before you leave this planet, you know what I'm saying, your heart got to be weighed on the scales of Mayat, right? So like I said, if your heart is infiltrated due to the emotionalism of the three-dimensional world, which is galvanized by people, places, and possessions, is basically being manipulated by these imperialistic elites. If your heart's not in the right place, you're going to be stuck on this realm. So that's where your ghosts come from. When you're stuck on this realm and you cannot basically leave this planet for spiritual ascension, right? So now I'm going to show you this clip of XXX. He's going to basically tell you about the magnitude and the importance of frequency in music. You see what I'm saying? Because back You know, back in the days, you used to go to these concerts, you know what I'm saying? You go to a Michael Jackson concert, people love him so much. They love his music because his music carried a energetic vibration that was connected to the heart chakra. Because what you got to understand in ancient occultism, the heart is the first organ formed in the body. And the tongue is basically the precursor to the heart. So this is where you get the concept of speaking from the soul, right? Because the heart is actually the seat of the soul, not the pineal gland. So they tell you that, you know, from an inverted perspective. So like I said, that's why the music is not resonated with love anymore, because people are not speaking from their heart chakra. You see what I'm saying? Because the heart is also connected to the vibrational energy of the planet that connects you to the 432 megahertz frequency of the music, right? Ain't no niggas crying. Ain't nobody crying when they go to these concerts no more. You know what I'm saying? You go to a Michael Jackson concert, you go to a Prince concert, they love these people. Now, you know what I'm saying? You listen to the music now, all you hear is shoot a nigga, kill a nigga, all types of shit like that. Drink some lane, nigga. You know, just some dumbass shit that basically puts you in a state of, you know, dysfunctionalism, right? So I'm gonna show you this clip of XXX, basically breaking down the magnitude of music. Okay, got that.
Point of music? What's the point of music? Niggas don't know. It's not always to have fun. It's not always to have fun. Sometimes it's to help people find themselves, because music is frequency programming. Music is frequency. What frequency are you being fed? I will hope a motherfucker, before they go pull some negative shit out this conversation, they pull this part of the conversation, and then see that I'm really, really actually helping people, bro. Let me be detailed. At 15 years old, I was doing sound engineering. So I was playing with frequency. I was playing with equalizers. Now, I think it's it's not a sonar wave, I forgot, it's like an alpha wave or a sonar wave or something like that. I figured out that hertz is to understand the frequency vibration, right? So there's kilohertz. There's hertz, kilohertz, megahertz, right? And then I think it's ultra hertz. If I play with those frequencies, right, I can target certain parts of the mind, target the frequency to go to certain parts of the mind, and I can literally, like, if I want you to astral project, right? You know what astral projection is? Yeah. If I want you to astral project, or if I want you to go to sleep, or if I want you to go into a meditative state, I can make my music do that. These little niggas out here don't give a fuck enough to go into that science, bro. These little niggas ain't studying kilohertz, megahertz, and doing all this shit. These little niggas don't know how to equalize, compress, and do all this shit. And the ones that do, okay, maybe your music not good enough to where it got to where, or maybe you not real enough. Maybe your goal's not good enough. Sorry. There's some people out here that do that. You know what I'm saying? That do work. But maybe you ain't putting in the ambition. Maybe you ain't saying the right shit. Maybe you not you. Maybe you trying to sound like somebody else. I ain't, bro. It's a blessing. Hell yeah. But I worked, bro. You can ask anybody around me, nigga. I worked, bro. My mom will tell you, I've been doing this shit.
See, so with that being said, you know what I'm saying? I need you to understand, you know, the music in itself, like I said, it's a universal language. It connects you to the divine source, which is nature. So everything, you know, in the universe works in a logistical order. Everything has a structure, everything has a foundation, and is used through mathematical concentric circles, which are energy vortexes that acclimates you to the source, which is the sun, to where you can facilitate everything in a three-dimensional realm and to create your own reality due to your vibration. Only if you vibrating high or if you vibrating on a low frequency, because everything is a polarity in the three-dimensional world. So like I said, man, you know, music is, you know, one of the things that help us ascend on this planet. It's one of the key components. Everything that they do that's basically used to activate your spiritual energy, they compromise it. Like sex is compromised, like because they infiltrated with the porn industry. Music is compromised because this is why they push drill music. This is why they giving you people like Lil Durk, the Baby, Tekashi 6ix9ine. These people are basically, you know, CIA agents to basically galvanize people in a state of mind control so the elite can carry out their agenda. There's no reason why, you know what I'm saying, people like Tekashi 6ix9ine and all these other rap niggas out here, why are they getting paid millions of dollars? You know what I'm saying? These niggas, their raps don't have any type of substance. They're not helping anybody. You know what I'm saying? All the music is based on chaos and confusion and dysfunction. You know what I'm saying? Because it's connected to the hedonistic system of the totalitarian government. You see what I'm saying? So now you see, like I said, you see why they use Tekashi as a pawn to carry out the New World Order agenda. You see what I'm saying? Because when you understand who you are genetically, you can basically decipher the delineation between who's the enemy and who isn't, right? Because, you know, you have to understand the basis of everything on the planet. It's not about race. It's not about racism. It's about genetical self-preservation. Because when you understand the magnitude of that, you can see why they propagate death and genocide in the music to make you kill off your own self. You see what I'm saying? Because if you don't have knowledge of self, you know what I'm saying? If you don't, put it like this, spiritual death is the precursor to mental death, and mental death is the precursor to physical death. So if you're not in alignment with who you are, you know what I'm saying, you're not gonna be able to transcend off this planet. It's gonna put an encryption on your anatomy to where you bound it on a frequency of time in the three-dimensional world once you die. You see what I'm saying? So this also coincides with the National Memorandum 200 that Henry Kissinger signed in 1975, because he said verbatim that Black life is a national security in the United States of America, right? So meaning that everything they do as far as their agendas that's predicated upon eugenics, everything is basically used to kill yourself off, because it's a form of population control, which is also connected to Agenda 2030, everything that's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at frequency warfare, neurological warfare, biochemical castration, things of that nature. So now I'm going to show you a clip of the reality of how basically the imperialistic elite infiltrated the music industry in the 1980s, because they had a secret meeting. And in this secret meeting, they basically wanted to use rap music as a resource to galvanize Black people in a state of destruction so they can fill up private prisons, because somebody got to get paid on Wall Street. You see what I'm saying? So everything is basically in synergy. Everything is synchronized. Everything's connected. So I'm going to show you this clip here in a second. Let me get my screen share going. Okay, got that one.
Quickly after this meeting began, one of the industry colleagues, who shall remain nameless like everybody else, thanked us for attending. He then gave the floor to a man who only introduced himself by first name and gave no other details about his personal background. I think he was the owner of the residence, but that was never confirmed. He briefly praised all of us for the success we had achieved in our industries and congratulated us for being selected as part of this small group of decision makers. At this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable in the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement. He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Then he says, I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in awe and confusion. At the same time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates.
Mm-hmm.
The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons.
Mm-hmm.
It was also made clear to us that since...
Let me intervene real quick, because also during this time, you can see why they use NWA as a vessel to infiltrate the rap industry to basically create an influx of violence on the planet. You see what I'm saying? Because this was basically the inception of the Bloods and the Crips that was going on in California. You had all these, these young black men, you know what I'm saying, in a state of confusion because, before they transmuted into that energy, the vast majority of those people, a part of the Crips and the Bloods, they were part of the Black Panther Party. So everything is basically created to infiltrate the mind. If you can infiltrate the minds of people and put them in a state of, on a low vibrational energy, you can carry out your own agenda based upon their mentality, right? So I'm gonna keep on going.
These prisons are privately owned. As they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies. And as employees, we'd also be able to buy stocks in these prisons. Immediately, silence came over the room.
So also when you understand the inception of slavery, you know what I'm saying? What is a stock? What is a bond? Stocks in bondage. So when you understand, everything that took place on the planet, when the European came over here, blacks were the first stocks and bonds. You know what I'm saying? We were the only ones in bondage in the geographical landmass of America. You see what I'm saying? Because when Christopher Columbus and things of that nature, when they came over here, they seen that it was already so-called black people in this geographical landmass. So they put us in, in a state of subjugation and servitude, right? So we was the first stocks and bonds. So that's how the industry, the private prison industry and the conglomerate corporation on Wall Street is basically modern day slavery with the illusion of capitalism.
You could have heard a pin drop. I remember looking around to make sure I wasn't dreaming and saw half of the people with dropped jaws. My daze was interrupted when someone shouted, "Is this a fucking joke?" At this point, things became chaotic.
Right.
Two of the men who were part of the unfamiliar group grabbed the man who shouted and attempted to remove him from the house. A few of us, myself included, tried to intervene. One of them pulled out a gun, and we all backed up. They separated us from the crowd, and all four of us was escorted outside. My industry colleague who opened up the meeting earlier hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences of speaking out about this publicly, or even those who attended the meeting.
Damn.
I asked him, why was he involved with something so corrupt? And he replied, "It's bigger than the music business and nothing we can do. No, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we want to challenge without risking consequences." We all protested as we walked back into the house. I remember word for word, the last thing he said, "It's out of my hands now. Just remember, you signed an agreement." He then closed the door behind him. The men rushed us to our car and actually waited until we drove off the property.
Damn.
So this meeting, bro.
Now that's a lot for a meeting right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. And this person later on, he said, this person actually ended up leaving the music industry after this happened. A few years after this, he ended up leaving the music industry.
Okay.
And he said he just like, over the years, he just felt guilty because he said as he sat back and he watched these plans come into play, come to a reality
Over 2 decades.
he sat back and was like, wow, they really pulled it off.
Yeah.
They really pulled this off. He was like, they were told not to sign any more political rappers, any more rappers that had messages in their
No
music.
positivity.
It was all to be gangster rap music that they promoted. And
Yeah, promote Tekashi 6ix9ine, promote Lil Durk, promote, drill music. You know what I'm saying? Don't give no, recognition to the people who can really rap. You know what I'm saying? Forget about the people who have substance in their music. So that's how you know it's an agenda that's going on the planet. Because like I said, everything is galvanized by the frequency of music, right? So this is why the rap industry in itself has been infiltrated by the imperialistic elite. So let me get my screen share going. There's also one thing I wanted to tell you guys about the 5 P's of ancient occultism. I'm gonna show you a pentagram. Because everything that's controlled by this government is basically a personification of witchcraft, right? So when you understand the 5 P's of ancient occultism, right? When you understand the 5 P's, the prison system, paganism, philosophy, politics, polytheism, all of these is basically an amalgamation of everything that basically puts you in a state of psychosis due to mind manipulation, right? Everything is basically galvanized to infiltrate your mind. Because like I said, they know that God is the highest extension of the mind, right? So when you break down the word witchcraft, what does the word witch, what does the word witch mean? What does the word craft mean? Craft is something that you carry. You carry an energy, a high vibrational energy or a low vibrational energy. And then when you got the pentagram, they usually entrap it with a circle. The circle is basically the circular world of the 3-dimensional world that's galvanized by people, places, and possessions. Already reiterated that to you guys already. So that's how you know what I'm saying, ancient occultism, witchcraft, is basically rooted in politics and the government, Wall Street, what I'm saying, the rap industry. So this is, a Luciferian society where everything is predicated upon a Hegelian dialectic principle through chaos and confusion, right? So with all that shit being said, it's also connected to everything that's going on the planet because, you got pretty soon, these new gun laws is going to come into play. So when you got these negative frequencies in the air that's infiltrating the minds of people that connects them to an algorithm of the 3-dimensional world, the matrix, what you think is going to happen? The crime rate's going to grow up. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have places like Chicago. Chicago is an energy center. Philadelphia is an energy center because those are 2 of the 7 cities that's basically in alignment with the Big Dipper star constellation, right? So that's why the vast majority of the consciousness on the planet came from one of those two geographical land masses, right? So with all that being said, man, I just want to thank y'all for watching. Get this video out there because, once these new gun laws, start to come into play in June and July, I want you to see the type of music that's going to be coming out during the time frame when the gun laws start to be activated on the planet. You see what I'm saying? Because, watch who they promote. Watch what type of message they're going to try to promote through the music industry when these new gun laws come out. Because I guarantee you it's going to be synonymous to all the crime rate that's going to be going on the planet during that time frame. So get this video out there. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.